Yo, what up, movie freaks? I'm just kidding. Welcome back to Movie Pop, guys. I'm DJ Washington. I'm here to talk with you about one of the most recent comedies I saw. It's called JEXI. Oh boy. It's written and directed by a team, John Lucas and Scott Moore, who are famous for doing the Hangover series of films. Yeah, of course, we can talk about that at a later time. The first entry of that film series, of course, was fantastic. And the rest of them, well, we'll leave that for another review. This is also starring Adam Devine with a co-star who is in the form of an AI on a phone, voiced by Rose Byrne. Kind of surprising there because she did the AI voice for a robot in one of Netflix's films called I Am Mother, which we reviewed earlier this year. So you basically kind of understand the consensus of the film if you haven't seen the trailer yet. If you have seen the trailer. If you have not seen the trailer yet, it basically follows Adam Devine, who gets a cell phone that has artificial intelligence on it. And he kind of gets into all these adventures with the AI kind of freaking out and trying to navigate his life and ultimately kind of ruin it. And it's all done in a very comedic fashion, yada, yada, yada. So let's just really dive into the pros and cons of this film. There are a couple pros. I genuinely laughed at this film when the jokes did land because it's supported by a very funny supporting cast. You've got Wanda Sykes, Michael Pena, Ron Funches, Charlene Yee. All of them really firing on all cylinders, especially Michael Pena. When he has his scenes in the film, they legitimately made me laugh. Adam Devine, of course, famous from Workaholics. If you guys haven't seen it, that's a fantastic show that was on Comedy Central. He kind of brings the same flair and charm for comedy, although he does play a different character than we're normally used to seeing him play. He plays more of a reserved IT coder kind of a personality, so it was refreshing to see him trying to act outside of his comfortable range. But then there's the cons for this movie. Let's begin with those. I did not like Kid Cudi's cameo and his appearance in this film. It was reminiscent of kind of the cheesy cameos we're used to seeing like in the 1990s, early 2000s. Star power for star power's sake, despite the fact that their acting is atrocious. It was, of course. I mean, Kid Cudi is a singer. I wasn't expecting him to have fantastic acting, but it wasn't even funny. So at that point, it was kind of like, what was the point of him being there? Just besides the fact of saying, "Hey, we have Kid Cudi in our film." One thing that bothered me a lot too with this film was that I found it to be very overly vulgar. Now, the audience that I saw this film with, a lot of them were laughing at these overly vulgar moments because they're probably, heckling hyenas who don't know the difference between good comedy and slapstick, and they'll laugh at anything. I don't know. But I did find this film overly vulgar. And it's just like, if you have a phone saying, F this, F that, yo, you a B, and kiss my A and S my D, like, it's bottom of the barrel comedy. So a lot of the times I was frustrated by that. Lastly, this is the technical nerd in me. I was really bothered with one specific technical portion of the premise for this film having to do with the AI. Because as I understand this film, in terms of how it was marketed, it was supposed to be marketed, or rather it was marketed as being the comedic version of Her, which was a film written and directed by Spike Jonze, starring Joaquin Phoenix. You've got Scarlett Johansson playing an AI, and Joaquin Phoenix basically falls in love with her. Now that film was set in the future of Los Angeles, I believe about 20 or 30 years in the future, so provided that and the context in which this film was described, I was expecting just, surface level explanation in terms of like why there would be an AI unit on someone's phone that is obviously at least conscious or sentient enough to wreak havoc on our protagonist Adam Devine's life. The film did nothing to explain that. It's set in modern times. Well, they explained it, and they basically said that it's JEXI is the equivalent of Siri, and it just had a malfunction. But a malfunction would not give Siri the full capabilities of artificial general super intelligence. There's no way technically that would ever happen. So that bothered me a lot. And that's probably more, if you're nerdy about tech and you follow the developments in AI, you know that, nah, chief, this ain't it. For general audiences, it might not bother you at all, but that is one thing that did bother me. So, the next question we have to ask ourselves is this worth a watch? And, despite the film's flaws, I'm going to have to say that, yeah, absolutely, this is definitely worth a watch. There are no other comedies in cinemas at the moment right now, to my knowledge. So, if you've seen a very heart-wrenching, dark, dramatic film like Joker, and you need to wash your brain and wash your emotions clean and get something a little more lighthearted, I would definitely recommend seeing JEXI. So with that, I'm going to have to give it 3.5 bags of popcorn. You can definitely say my funny boner was tickled. It was worth a watch. So if you guys have some time, you want to see a nice little comedy, go ahead and watch JEXI. And of course, if you want to see more awesome movie reviews, trailers, make sure to follow us on social media. We've got all the links right down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching.